Hello, this is Smoked Gamer, and this is another episode of Holiday Buying Guide 2024. It's actually January 8th, 2025. Shh, don't tell anyone. But there's still a couple of sales going on, and this is a game I definitely wanted to cover. I just wasn't quite sure how to do it, and there were other games I was working on. So, what I'm going to do is, I think to avoid spoilers, I'm just going to start a brand new character, and I also want to see the outcome of other decisions that I didn't make. So we're just going to go from there. And you can change your appearance later on anyways. So this is the character I just made. My first character was a human female mage. This character is a male Canary warrior. Um, I had also chosen the Lords of Fortune for my first character, but he's going to be a shadow dragon. So we're going to see if that has any bearing, and then just everything else is default settings like difficulty and whatnot. So I just figured this is the best way to do it. Just play the beginning of the game. That way there's no major spoilers, and I can just tell you, what I think of the game and help you decide if you want to get it or not. So the reason I'm still doing these videos is because there are still some sales going on the Epic Games Store and PlayStation. So, hey, why not? So let me try to skip some of the cutscenes just so that you don't get any spoilers, and just so I can talk about the game, show you the combat. So as you may have deduced already, there was a fight inside this inn. And I'll also go over some of the graphic settings in case you're wondering. Yeah, so yeah, my first character, I just went all out and beat the crap out of people. So I'm just going to make the opposite decisions that I did on my first character, because I want to see what happens. Also, I didn't realize the game was going to give me 2 additional female mages, so I have 3 female mages right now. It's like, well, let's try something different. And then you end up getting 2 thieves as well, 2 or 3 thieves, and it's like, okay, let's make a warrior and see how it goes. Hmm. Look, it's Varric. We like him, don't we? He's great. All right. So yeah, so that does play out differently. Choices matter. Hey, who would have thought? Whatever works. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, so you get a human female mage, a human elf mage, or no, elf female mage. Then you get Varric and Harding, who are both dwarf thieves. And then I'm doing a quest where I'm trying to rescue an assassin, so I guess he's a thief too. So that's why I just thought, let's try warrior this time. Get a more diverse party. And I didn't want to have you sit there for, 10, 20 minutes while I make a character. Also, you can change your appearance anytime you want. So I would say, you don't have to spend too much time in the beginning. If you just want to jump right into the game, you can pick a preset for your appearance, and then you can always fine tune it when you get to the like hub area. But first thing I want to talk about are these amazing graphics, and I like the art design too. Look at all this. This just looks frickin' awesome. This is the PC version running on Steam. Now, I had to run it in windowed mode to be able to play while recording on my dual monitor setup, but everything's capped at 1440p right now, including the recording itself, so you can bump that up if you haven't already. And that's the thing, when you're in windowed mode, you don't get access to things, but it's 1440p basically. So now if I just go through here, I've got HDR turned on, and I have DLSS turned on because that just, gives me higher frame rate without too much of a cost of the appearance. And I'm not using dynamic resolution scaling at all. Graphics are maxed out right now. So I do have ray tracing turned on. As you can see, I'm using 9 out of like 12. Yeah, and so because it's windowed and it's full screen, yeah, so you can see that's the resolution it's running at. So it's not quite 1440p, but close enough. Like, who cares? Yeah. And so just a pretty big cost to performance when you turn on ray tracing, let me just tell you. And then audio, right now I just have it set to headphones because that's, what I have on. But, it supports like surround sound, of course. And then, yeah, so there's the combat preset. That's fine. But it looks like you can... No, so that's the thing. That's the difficulty. So, yeah, Adventurer is just your default normal difficulty. And you got some accessibility settings that... Yeah. Okay, yeah, so I prefer to just hold the button instead of mashing it, so that's one of the settings that I like to change. But as you can see, you've got all these other things that can really help you out if you need them, subtitles and all that, so it's always worth looking at. So I think most companies are doing a better job with accessibility. And then, oh, nudity is allowed, huh? Oh, geez, you know what? I better shut that off just in case. Don't want my video to get banned. Alright, so there we go. That's what I'm running at right now. You can't see it, but I'm getting like between like 70 and like 110 frames per second. It's averaging about 90, 95. So yeah, with the RTX 4070, you can get pretty good settings. If I do 4K with no ray tracing, I can still stay above 60 most of the time. And I don't even have like a super high-end computer either. So you get some nice reflections from the ray tracing and all that. It's pretty nice looking. When I get into some other environments, maybe I'll change the settings a little bit. Yeah, if I can find a spot where you can really see the difference with ray tracing on and off, then I'll stop there and show you. But yeah. Skip, 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 skip. Okay. So Solus was a companion in Inquisition, in case you didn't know. And you should play Inquisition, definitely. So I've played all 4 Dragon Age games now. I like all 4 of them. Each one has something slightly different to offer. Alright, let's get into a fight now. Soon. So... Harding. And you can actually romance Harding in this one, in case you're wondering. I haven't pulled it off yet, but... I'm in a hurry. Alright. So, no, there is an interesting story here. The Inquisition was dissolved at the end of the previous game. Spoiler. And then Solas kind of becomes a villain towards the end. Another spoiler. Okay. So this is the combat. You pretty much just mash the X and Y buttons. Of course, you got full controller support. I'm playing with the Xbox controller. Okay. Oh, I can throw my shield. Hey, that's neat. Oh, I can also switch to a two-handed. Okay, so... Alright, cool. That was another thing I wanted to check here. I got 3 healing potions right now. And you hit the green barrels to get more. So when playing as the mage, I had the choice between a two-handed staff or a dagger and orb. And you can switch between them on the fly, so that's really cool, actually. And the previous game, you kind of had to commit to one of the two fighting styles, but now you get them both. And I just wanted to double check that on a different class, and sure enough, I'm assuming it's also true on the rogues. You could probably do a dual wielding or ranged, which is nice. Okay, but yeah, but look, just I really like the art direction. I love the graphics, and you don't need a top of the line $3,000 computer to run it. Although I'm assuming the console version will let you switch between like quality and performance. So, and now with the mage, I was able to parry. Yep. So there you go. So you can block, you can parry, you can dodge. This is action combat. So while Dragon Age Origins was very much a spiritual successor to like Baldur's Gate and Neverwinter Nights, which BioWare worked on before, Dragon Age 2 really took it in more of an action direction. And then Inquisition tried to kind of do a hybrid system. And I thought they really did a good job with that, because you could pause the game and go top down. So this game, they got rid of that. This is really just an action RPG at this point, but I'm okay with that. It really plays more like a Mass Effect game, to be honest with you. And it's more linear, but it's just a matter of preference. I think it's cool. I like it. So, and just be on the lookout for collectibles here. So I originally bought Dragon Age Origins on PS3, and I just didn't like it that much. The combat didn't click with me. But then when I got the PC version, and it let me, go top down, like, Baldur's Gate, it was like, oh, now I like this. And then, like I said, 2 decided we're just going to go to more of an action style. So, like I said, all 4 games are slightly different, but I think that's a good thing. They each have something unique to offer. Whether or not you like the story, that's kind of subjective. So far, I think it's interesting, the direction that they're going in. Although I've heard some people say they don't like the writing or the story. And yeah, sometimes the dialogue is a little off. But I think the game is fun. I think it's challenging when you get into some of the boss fights. I'm going to kick you. And this is what I mean. This is where it plays more like Mass Effect, because you've got your 2 companions and you can give them orders, and then you go here. So I just drop kicked that guy. That was fun. And you have symbols to indicate when you're about to get hit, kind of like, Batman and Spider-Man. So I just really like this game, but that's why it's just important to kind of just tell you exactly what the game is all about. You might not like it, You might be thinking, well, gee, I really liked Dragon Age Origins. I really liked Inquisition. I don't want to play an action game, and that's fair, But I think you'd really be missing out. I think this is a cool game. It's already gone on sale a few times. So I got it for $47, and then it went on sale for like $38. So, So this is another new companion. She's a detective. You're trying to get information on Solus. Skip, 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 skip. I just want to skip through this. Nice job. Alright. Yeah, Solas is an elven god, and he's trying to do something with the veil, and we need to stop him. So, part of the reason I hesitated to do a video of this game for this series was because I just didn't know how to do it without spoilers, and this really was the best approach. Just, you're only seeing the very beginning of the game, and you just get a chance to check out the graphics and performance and combat and stuff. So, like I said, I'm getting like 100 FPS right now. Um, if I were to disable DLSS, it's going to look about the same, and it's probably going to murder my frame rate, but let's just see what happens. And that's over in display settings here. So are you ready for this? Okay. And you can also do Intel and FSR. But I'm going to shut this off. And let's see. Yeah, so I'm still getting above 60 right now with DLSS turned off. But remember, this is 1440p. And I've noticed, though, sometimes it does drop below 60. So I would say you're going to want to use upscaling for this game. But again, do you see a difference? Because I sure as hell don't. That's how good DLSS is now at this point. And let's hope that, you know, Nintendo and Nvidia do a good job with the next console with DLSS. Hopefully Switch 2 will utilize that. Where am I going? I'm going the wrong way. And just remember, too, there's a lot of cutscenes, a lot of dialogue, because it is an RPG after all. But I think it's got better pacing than some of the other RPGs I've played. You know, the combat is fast-paced, and all the cutscenes and dialogue are pretty much skippable, or you can just... Sometimes, like, your answers don't matter, so you can just kind of pick anything. And I love smashing barrels and stuff. So, this is it. Unfortunately, I can't bump it up to 4K right now because of the way I have it set up, and it's going to screw up the recording. But just needless to say, at 4K, I absolutely had to turn on DLSS to get good frame rate. So, this graphics card can do 4K with no ray tracing, or it can do 1440p with ray tracing. But right now I'm not quite getting 60, you know. So I might have to change it again. And I gotta say, actually playing as the warrior is actually a little more fun than the mage. I'm just beating the shit out of people. This is great. I like this game, I really do. I recommend it to fans of RPGs, fans of action RPGs, action adventure. So you don't have the same kind of customization options as other RPGs or other games in this series, but I don't see that as a detriment, you know. And it's not really a benefit either, it's just a matter of personal preference. I'm getting older and I'm just losing patience with these really long and complicated open world RPGs. I play a lot of JRPGs, but I don't end up finishing a lot of them. So, you know. To me, this is refreshing after just playing so many JRPGs last year. And this is one of the better games that I played in 2024 as well. But I definitely wanted the PC version because, first off, it was a little cheaper, and secondly, I had Dragon Age Inquisition on PS4, and I was always disappointed with the frame rate. And then when I tried playing the PC version of that game, by the time I had a computer that could run it properly, it just didn't look good anymore. So, but this appears to be much better optimized than Inquisition was on PC, let me tell you. As for Steam Deck, I didn't try it, but it is fully deck verified at this point, and I do have a friend who's played it on Steam Deck. He didn't have any real complaints about it. Obviously, don't expect really exceptional graphics. Oh, okay, this is cool. So the X button is my sword slash. The Y button, I use my shield to hit them. That's cool. So honestly, this combat plays out more like Dragon's Dogma, which I don't see as a bad thing once again. So, yeah, it's hammer time! Stop! Can't touch this. Hammer time. Bam! But then, I don't know if it's going to show this just yet, but you do have, like, yeah, so it's not showing the skill trees yet. But you do get to invest some skill points, and there is a decent looking tree that goes in different specializations. So, and now your companions are already specialized. So, it's not like Inquisition where you could just respec all your party members. But, again, I don't see it as a bad thing. Chuckles. I mean, we got Varric, we got Harding, you know, it's fine. We got some familiar faces here. But you can also change some of the decisions from Inquisition. So right now I'm on the default, but with my other character, I got it to match what I did in that game. So that's fine. And there's just very basic puzzle solving, just finding switches and keys. But this is just the meat and potatoes of the game, really. So, you know, this is what it's all about. But I really want to see how my decision changes in this upcoming section here. When you get a chance to confront Saul's. Okay, so look, here's a place where we got some nice reflections to look at, right? So I'm going to go ahead and turn off ray tracing, because that's all ray tracing really does, right? It just makes the puddles look nicer. Oh boy, it's mad at me now. So, yeah, so now I'm using less VRAM. Oh, yeah. So, it looks exactly the same. It looks fine, and now I'm getting insanely high frame rate. So, yep. And that's something I always speculate on in all of my videos, you know, for games that support ray tracing. Is it worth it? It's like, well, this looks perfectly fine. Like, what's the problem? So yeah, with no ray tracing and no DLSS at 1440p, I'm getting like over 100 FPS. So, like I said, you don't need a top of the line computer. You don't need a $1,000 graphics card. I have a $600 graphics card, and it seems to be doing fine. But I'm sure there are some cheaper cheaper AMD cards that might run this pretty well. So I'm just going to turn this stuff back on. Let's just do the middle setting here. So, okay, yeah. So this looks a little bit nicer. You know? It definitely looks nicer, but, I mean, seriously, do you want to, like... Do you want to lose 30 FPS? Because now I'm in the 70s. So, do you want to lose 30 frames just to make puddles look a little bit nicer? I sure as hell don't. And then you got to turn on DLSS, which has a minimal impact on visuals. So, for the rest of the video, I'm just going to switch this off. Now, gee, I really wish YouTube didn't cap everything at, you know, 60 FPS. I wish, you know, you could do like 120 and stuff. But now the game gets mad at me every time I change settings, though, and it takes a couple seconds to catch up. And this game does have to compile shaders and then has to verify them every time you open it. So be mindful of that as well. But again, this is just a really neat game. I happen to like it a lot. Okay. Let's go. Yeah, so they're just telling me that stronger attacks can totally break through armor quicker. But I really like this fighting style here for the warrior. Yeah. So now we're actually getting a good look at some foliage here and some shadows and stuff, and it's like, this is just a great looking game, let me tell you. I keep saying it, and I'm just going to keep saying it. I just was really impressed with how good this game looks. Because Dragon Age Origins was kind of an ugly game, wasn't it? And then Dragon Age 2 I had on PC, and I had a computer that could just barely run it. But that even that looked better than, the PS3 Origins did. But even the PC version of Origins just didn't look great. Just was kind of an ugly game. So, and they're going to support this with DLC, so we'll see how that plays out. But I've actually never played any of the DLC content for like any of these games. And then you also have an ultimate ability that charges over time. If you already have your maximum potions and you break one of these, then it just heals you. And your companions do learn healing skills, so it's fine. Yeah, I like that the AI companions are not dumb as dirt either. That's something I always comment on when I notice it. Like, I think they did a good job with companions. Because the other games you had to program in all these, macros basically to try to get them to act the way you wanted them to. But this, you don't have to fiddle around with any of that shit. So, I just want to get to the end of this whole prologue section. But at this point, I think you can make a pretty informed decision on, whether you want to get this or not. And like I said, even though today's actually January 9th and it's not 2024 anymore, the game came out in 2024, and that's really what counts for this series. Jeez. And just forgiveness if, the volume levels aren't quite where they should be. I did my best. And then there's different symbols to indicate if you're, going to be able to block or not. Yeah, kick him in the face. And then you eventually get takedowns as well. So the combat is very good in this one. And it just plays more like a traditional action game in a good way. So, alright. So, yeah. Varric still wants to try to talk him out of it. Because they are still friends. Yeah, so with my first character I supported his plan, now I'm going to be like, nah, he's too far gone. So that was one of those uh, dialogue options that doesn't change the outcome, but it changes the way that characters feel about you. So I guess if you really piss characters off, then I don't know, then they're mean to you or something, or you lose a chance to really connect with them. So yeah, this is cool. There he is. Hey, Baldy. Okay. Alright, yeah, so at this point I just gotta stay here and fight these demons. Okay. Minimizing the casualties. Well, people are still gonna fucking die, dude. Shoot him! Fucking shoot him! Ah, damn it. Bianca died! No! I think he's just pissed off because he's bald. I mean, I'm going bald and I'm angry about it. Yeah, so... Okay, so with my first character I had Harding come with me. Now I'm gonna have Nev come with me because I actually don't even like Nev. Right, so this is what happens is you build more rapport with whoever you pick. But like I said, so choices matter. Even if the outcome is the same, you know, people will approve or disapprove of what you do. And you're going to want to build up their, like, loyalty level. So to me, this definitely, like, feels like a BioWare game, you know? Like it or not, they do RPGs and they do action games, and each of their games is a little different, and I just happen to like the uh, approach that they took on this one. Ah, push it. I grew up in the 90s. Can't you tell? Alright. So we disrupted the ritual, but we didn't really understand what the ritual was doing because he didn't bother to explain it properly. Oh, no! You bastard! Varric's the coolest guy ever. How dare you? Where's Nev? Do your thing, girl. Save me, Harding. Oh, there she is. Oh. Oh no. And down he goes. So, there you go. That's the beginning of the game. You're right, I don't. Alright. So, the basic gist of it is that he's an elven god. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, exactly. So, what happened was he's doing this ritual, and you disrupt the ritual, so now he gets trapped in the Fade, and the two other evil elven gods that he once overthrew 1,000 years ago or whatever have just gotten out. So, you let them out. I had a plan. Yep. Solas is arrogant. Yeah, right. So these evil elven gods have now been released, and he's like, I had a plan. It's like, well, you didn't bother to share that plan with anybody, asshole. You know? And your plans seem to involve letting demons out of the veil and murdering people in the process. So, yeah, of course they were going to stop you. Yeah, fuck you, Solos. So, like I said, though, I picked slightly different dialogue options as well, just to see how it would play out. So, Varric's not dead, but he's injured, so you can't use him in your party yet. It's just a flesh wound. So, depending on your faction, you have a different backstory. So, the faction I picked is the one that hates slavery and will do anything to get rid of it. So, with my first character, I had Harding come with me and she got injured, and now she's the one with the blood and the bruises all over her face. But I'm still trying to romance her. Yeah, it's not a deal breaker. And I don't like Nev anyways, so that's fine. So after starting the game, you can't change your class or faction or your race either, but you can change your gender and your appearance anytime you want. So, all right. So there we go. That's the beginning of it, and now I can see that things played out a little bit differently. And then you go here to the mirror. So anytime you're in this main hub area, you can just look in the mirror and change your appearance. So you can change appearance or gender, but like I said, you can't change race or faction or class. So, and you have a very robust character creation system here. So this is what happens. You end up in this lighthouse, and this is like your hub area that can lead to other places. Whoa. And there's Harding with no bruises on her face. Oh, man. I'm so glad she didn't get hurt this time. Or do they? And dwarves can't do magic either. Or can they? Alright, so I just hit level 2. Yeah, so there it is. I'm going to stop here so I don't spoil anything else for you. But I really like this game. I can definitely recommend it, although, again, there's people who say that they loved Dragon Age Inquisition and didn't like this one. That's worth noting, but I don't know. I think this is a great game, and now, you see what it's all about. So, now that I leveled up, let's see if it'll show me the skill tree. Yes. So, this is what I was talking about, though. So, you do still get skill points to distribute, and you can pretty much respec anytime you want, and you will, work towards these 3 specializations, and you get additional attacks and stuff. So, I'm a warrior, like it or not. So if I just kind of zoom back out a little bit here. That's cool, but I'm really digging the sword and shield a little more though. Oh, cool. Ooh, that looks neat. And champion. Okay, see, I mean, you know what? I want to go in this direction. That looks cool. Okay, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to go over here. And I just got to find the best path to get to there. So I got to pick one of these 2 so I can get to here, or I can go this way. So there's different paths you can take to get to the same result, and as you get more points, you'll be able to respec and stuff. So okay, so that's like a parry attack. I'm gonna go with this because that just seems a little more fun. And then 2, and what is this? Titan Stomp. Ooh, I like that. Okay. Cool. Alright, so there you have it. I'm going to stop the video here. Thanks for tuning in. And I wasn't planning on covering any more games for Holiday Buying Guide, so I guess this is probably going to be the last episode. But you can watch them in any order, so maybe you're watching this one first. I don't know. But, oh, what is this over here? Oh, and then if you plummet to your death, you're actually okay. So they're basically following Zelda rules at this point for falling. Although I think you take a little bit of damage, though. So there you have it. Okay, I'm all done. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you made some good, well-informed decisions with your gift cards and holiday cash and whatnot. And I got some more content planned, so please continue tuning in, consider liking, subscribing, and all that. And you can follow me on Blue Sky at Smoke Joe Gamer. So, all right, thanks. See ya.